All right, for this first lesson of Module 3, we're going to talk about Heroku databases and the MySQL Workbench connection. All right, so first thing we want to do is we want to create a new database in Heroku. Well, we want to create a new application. So I'm going to start up a new app, create app, and I'm going to call it my name of my class, and then Module 03, my name, and this is the demo. All right, and I'm just going to click Create App, which is nice. And it says that I need to re-authenticate, so it's going to go through, do its thing. All right. Now, usually I go to deploy and I'll connect it to GitHub, but I'm not going to do that right now. What I'm going to do first is I want to go to Resources and I want to type in JAWS DB, but I want to make sure I grab this MySQL one, not the Maria one. Okay, so we're going to grab the MySQL one. And we want to make sure we pick the free one, okay? And we submit the order form, okay? And it just takes just a second for this to create the new database, okay? It says it's created, and then when I click on it, it's going to give me my authentication information, okay? So I have a host name, a username, a password, a port, and a database, okay? Otherwise known as a schema. All right. That's all we need to do, but every time we create a new application from Module 3 on, we're going to need to create a new database in each one, okay? So we'll need a new JAWS DB MySQL database for each one. Now, let's talk just a second about how to connect that right into our Workbench. So I'm going to grab this connection string just so I'll kind of have it, okay? All right, and now I'm going to open up my Workbench. So I come down, I'm going to open up my SQL Workbench, and I'm going to create a new connection. All right, now within my new connection, I want to just up here, I can put something like Module 3 Demo. This is just a name. That part up here doesn't really matter. Module 3 Demo, Module 3, okay. And then I'm gonna select my host name, and I'm going to put it here in host name. Now, notice here at the end of the host name, I have a space. Okay, that's going to cause an issue. Okay, so I want to come over here and I want to get rid of any spaces. I'm just going to hit delete as many times as I can, and at the very front, and make sure I don't have any spaces there. I'm going to leave port 3306 alone, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy the username. I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to double check for spaces, no spaces. I'm going to do the same thing for the password. I'm going to store it in the vault. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the database schema, copy and paste it in. Now, I'm not going to move on until I test my connection. If I test my connection and it works, then I know that this connection works, okay? So I'm going to say test connection, and I get a successful, it is connected. Now I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to open that MySQL up. Now, let's see. All right, so once we're inside our Workbench, sometimes you'll see it will look like maybe this, okay? What you want to do is you want to come over and go to schemas, okay? And then we can get rid of that. And I think that's pretty good. So we're gonna click on tables, and there's no tables here yet. So we're gonna right click on the table, and we're gonna create a new table. And in this table, we're gonna call it runners with an S. I like all of my table names to be plural, okay? It's just a preference, makes it easy when I'm trying to code. But I do like my column name, my first one, to be runner_ID. Single runner, because it's a single person, right? And I'm going to click primary key, not null, and auto increment. And then I'm going to go first name. So first name, varchar is fine. It just means it's going to be a string. And last name, varchar is fine. It's going to be a string. Now, once I've done that, I need to click apply. Okay, and I click apply, and it's finished. Now, if I go in here, I should be able to see my table. When I see my whole table, okay, I want to copy all of that information right there, okay, just like that. And I'm going to open up my chat. Okay, so I want to go to chat, and let me just see if I can bring it over so we could see it, okay. And in my chat, I'm going to ask it, I'm going to say, create me a DBML file for this structure. Okay, and I'm going to paste it right in. I'm going to hit enter, and it's just going to come up with a simple little DBML. Okay, so I'm going to copy that DBML, and I'm going to put it later. I'm going to save it somewhere, like in a Notepad document for later. Okay, and then we'll talk about when we're going to use that later. Okay, but for now, for this lesson, that's as far as we need to go. Okay, so I guess I can, I wanted to show you one more thing. So if I need to make an adjustment, okay, and I come over here, I can close this table. I want to add, say, insert. So if I highlight over this runner, I can come over, there's a little tool, and then there's this little like Excel spreadsheet. If I open the Excel spreadsheet, I can add myself as a runner. Obviously, I'm a great runner, but it won't actually add until I hit apply. Okay, so now if I execute, that's this button here, this says run this query, which is the query is right here. Run the query, it will execute. Okay, so this is where you can put queries, and I could do the same thing here. I can type in a query, select all from runners, and I could run it, and it will execute that query. Okay, so this is all select is you're going to get every single column. I could also do select first name, okay, from runners, and it will just give me first name. Okay, so that is as far as I think we need to go for this first lesson. The lesson covered how do you create a new table in Workbench, how do you connect into Workbench, and how do you make the new database in Heroku.